Good. Now, that was a generalization, the general idea of how I see what healing is, and the connection to self-discovery and consciousness and awakening and self-love, all those connections. I was just giving a general idea. Now, to the steps. So in this recording, I will go through the main blocks to healing, and then some of the steps. Okay, so it kind of goes hand in hand, the blocks with the steps in a way. At least that's how it came out. So the first block to healing is the lack of awareness. So if I'm not aware that I have something to heal, then I cannot heal. I cannot change anything if I'm not aware of it. Okay, that's the first block. There's another very common block, and that's denial. So denial is a little bit different than not being aware. And denial implies that you know that there's something, but you don't want to see it. Okay. And from what I have seen, this is huge. This is very common in the world, in society. From what I've seen from my many years of seeing clients and meeting people from all over the world, denial is a huge one, and it's still a very huge one right now. So it's like, oh yes, you kind of feel there's something, but you don't want to see it. Maybe you're not ready to see it. Now, then right next to that is not being honest with yourself. That's another block. If I'm not being honest with myself, then I cannot accept that there is something. And that's something that I'm seeing, or that's something that I know that I have to change, or that I something that I know that, you know, is affecting my life, is affecting my relationships, is affecting, like, I know it's just not good to have that I don't know, behavior, or that habit, or that attitude, or maybe, yeah, I do feel like I do have an addiction with this, but I better deny it because I'm not ready to face that. Okay. Now, if you step into honesty, if you are one of those people who are in that place of denial, and you realize, yes, I'm denying this. I mean, for you to realize that you're in denial, you need to be honest. So if you have that nagging feeling there in your subconscious, is your intuition, is, your inner self or your higher self telling you, yeah, there's something here that you need to see. And the denial is there. We need honesty. We need self-honesty. So lack of self-honesty is one big block, because if I'm not honest with myself to really accept that there is a problem, to really accept this, whatever it is that is going on in your life that you're doing, in whatever area, it could be in your work, it could be you're very unhappy in the work that you are doing, it could be that you're very unhappy and depressed in the relationship, or romantic relationship that you have, or friendship relationships, or maybe you never been able to really have a real friend because you have such deep fear of being betrayal, or deep fear of that somebody's gonna do something to you and you're gonna get hurt. These things, it doesn't mean that, oh, there's something wrong with me. No, it's not about that. It's about wanting to make your life better. It's about wanting to be happy. You cannot be happy if you carry with you this amount of fear of being hurt, or this fear of trusting somebody, or this fear of being unsafe, or this fear. you can't really be happy. You can't really be healthy. And healthy and happy goes hand in hand also. And when I say healthy, I mean holistically healthy. It's everything. It's not just the physical body, it's everything. You're healthy mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul, mind, body, emotion, soul. That's what healthy is. So if I'm carrying this amount of fear in my heart and oh, I'm carrying a lot of resentment about the past, that's where the healing comes. That's what I mean with healing. So that resentment, this is just an example of carrying something from the past. If you're carrying that resentment in your heart, you can't really move forward. There's no moving forward. So that will keep you stuck. It will keep you stuck and tied down and tied back to the past. So that's why we want to heal. We want to heal to be free. We want to heal to be happy. We want to heal to have a better and healthier life. That is the intention of healing. And it's the same as awakening. It's the same as waking up to who you are, who you truly are. What is your purpose? What are you doing in this life? It's the same. It's the same. Because imagine you're one of these people, or one of these people that are in this awakening journey. And this is, I have met clients like this. Of course, I met people like this, that they are very into spirituality, and they want to walk the spiritual path, and they know about spirituality, and we know that we are all one, and we know, I know I have a soul. Yes, I know. And they know all these things, but they haven't healed. They haven't healed their heart. They haven't healed emotionally. So it's not separate. It's not a separate thing. It's not that I am in my spiritual journey, and so I'm just ignoring all my emotional baggage from my past and traumas from childhood, etc. It's not like that. You can't move forward. You can't. And this is one of the blocks too. So this is for those people who are in a spiritual journey specifically, and I've met a lot of them. And it's the same with the physical health. A lot of these people, they are following this spiritual journey, but then they're not taking care of the physical body because they're not believing that the physical body is spiritual. And it's not like that. Yes, the physical body is also spiritual at the end, and the end of the truth. The truth is that we all come from source. Everything comes from that. So the physical body is a manifestation of that spirit. So there is a disconnection, and that comes from the past. That comes from that information that we have had in the past. There's a disconnection, and the disconnection is mental. Mentally, we are disconnected, and we think in the spiritual journey is separate from the physical and the emotional, and it's not like that. So if I am in a spiritual journey, but I have all these hurts from the past, I cannot trust anybody, I'm not taking care of my physical body, then that's not a spiritual journey. It's not a real spiritual journey. A real spiritual journey is taking care of your whole self. It's bringing love to your whole self. It's forgiving yourself. It's forgiving your past. It's taking care of your body and loving your body as a divine thing, as something that comes from the divine. Everything comes from it. That is the real spiritual journey. It's not separating the spiritual from the physical. It's all connected. So that might be one block for some group of people, some people that are going that way. I've met a lot of them that in that road, and they have, it's just because that's information they have gotten. It's just because that's where we're coming from. This is not about blaming yourself or blaming anybody or feeling guilty or feeling like you you're doing something wrong. It's not, it's nothing about that. It's just about information. So that's the way we have been informed in the past. And because I've seen this hole in the middle. I've seen a hole in the middle for many people. That's why I decided to do this recording. Now, going back to the steps, okay? So I already named those blocks, main blocks. There's another block. There's another block coming, but I will explain that one when we get to that step. So at the same time, just as I said, the main block or the first block is lack of awareness. Then at the same time, the first step is awareness. So the first step for healing is being aware. I'm aware that I have something to heal. What that means is, it's not that I have something wrong, is something wrong with me. No, it's just something that is blocking my development. Is getting me stuck to my expansion. It's not letting me be happy. It's not letting me feel love for myself. It's not letting me live my purpose. That's what the block is. And that's where the healing starts. That is where the healing starts. So I'm realizing that this thing, whatever that is stopping me. It's stopping me from self-development. It's stopping me from being happier or healthier or having better and healthier relationships. It's stopping me from having a job that I love or something that I want to do or something that I like, etc., etc. So then I acknowledge it and then I face it. I look at it. I'm aware of it. Then the honesty comes. I need to be honest with myself with what I'm seeing. So awareness, then honesty. Okay, I'm honest with myself. I accept that this is what it is. I'm going to take care of it. Then the action, of course. Okay, I decide, I commit, I'm going to take action. That's the next step. So after you acknowledge it, you are honest with yourself, you face it. Okay, now what action do I need to take? Now, for some people, would be maybe to buy a book and help themselves buying the book. For some people, might be hiring a therapist or a coach, depending on what the issue is or what the problem is in the healing process. You find the help. So that would be the action. The first action would be, let me see what do I need to do to help myself. That's the action. What I can do to help myself. And this is a view that you need to have to really heal yourself. It's not about, let me find somebody to heal me. Let me look for someone to heal me. Nobody's going to heal you. Let me find the right help to help me. Let me find the right help to help me heal myself. That's when you need to find the right help for you to then help you. Because you need to learn how to help you. You need to learn how to heal yourself, learn how to handle yourself. And all these things come from self-knowledge, self-discovery. And why I'm telling you this so clearly, and this is really, 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 really important, the difference between I'm going to find somebody to heal me or I'm going to find somebody to help me heal myself, help me learn how to heal myself, because the healing process is a very long one. It's not, oh, I heal myself, oh, I'm done. No, it's a self-discovery process. There are more things coming for you to resolve, release, let go, heal, move on, find something else. And then life happens and challenges happen. And you need to know how to handle those things, how to handle your emotions, how to handle your mind, how to handle your life for you to actually keep going. So this is why you want to learn how to do it for yourself. And it starts with self-discovery. All right. So that's the action part. Then you can either do that, or as I said, maybe a book will help you, or maybe you just start doing meditation, you start practicing meditation, you start practicing yoga, you start practicing Tai Chi, Qigong, martial arts, swimming, whatever it is that connects you with yourself. And maybe you can just go through it and start doing it by yourself. Now, that's part of the self-honesty. That there you have to be honest with yourself and identify if you need professional help or if you can do it alone. You really have to be honest with yourself there, because sometimes that's where self-sabotage comes. And we think that we can do it by ourselves, and we lie to ourselves. But we're not doing it really on purpose. We're not doing it consciously. We unconsciously are lying to ourselves in the sense of just not being honest and thinking or believing or making ourselves believe that we can do it by ourselves and we don't need help. And sometimes that's not true. Sometimes that's a way to sabotage yourself. Sometimes that's a way for you to keep you stuck. And it's because we're afraid of moving forward. We're afraid of who are we going to be if we actually move forward. Who am I going to be if I actually get out of this stuckness? Who am I going to be if I release this garbage that I've been carrying? So that's when we self-sabotage, because we don't know what's going to happen when we step forward. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that, and then be honest with yourself. Now, whichever method that you find for yourself to help yourself heal, once you start going through that process, and in this stage or this process, there might be a bunch of other people in this other stage and this process of, they went through all these steps that I already named, and they are really deep into their healing process. Now, there's another number of people that I've met that are very aware and very conscious about their problems, about the things they want to change, the negatives, positives. They know that they have been through trauma. They know that they have been through hard times in their life. They know these things, and they start to acknowledge, they start to go through the process. And something common, very common, that I found with these other number of people is that they get to that place where they hit the block. This is where the next block I was saying that was coming, because they are staying in the psychological area alone. So psychologically, mentally, they know these things. And psychologically and mentally, they might have been applying practices, and they might have been applying even therapy, psychological therapy, CBT, cognitive therapy, yes, and just psychological therapists that target the way of thinking, the mental process, all those things. Now, even the belief system, some of these people have gone through, acknowledging, oh, this is a belief that I carry from my childhood, and, and then they carry it. Now, I've met a lot of people that have been going through that stage of that process for a very long time. And they still do not seem to actually make real changes or real healing. And it's because they haven't taken it deeper into the emotional body. So when you take it to the emotional body and you go through the emotions, that's when you really heal. You cannot heal only in your mind. You cannot heal just by changing your thoughts. So this is another information, another piece of information from the past, where a lot of people still follow that, but they still follow this because they don't know what else to do. Because again, the lack of information about these depths in healing. So the mental, the psychological change, which is changing your thoughts, being aware of your thoughts, of course, that is part of it. It's a very important part of it, and you have to go through that part. But for you to heal a pattern of behavior, something that takes over you, something that you realize, oh my God, why I can't change this? Why I keep going back to this behavior? Why I keep going back to feeling depressed? Why I keep going back to this addiction? No matter how much I change my mind, no matter how many years of therapy or psychotherapy I've been through, I don't move forward. And you know how many people I met like this? A lot of people. Years of psychotherapy and they haven't moved forward because they have stayed in the mind. They have stayed only in the thoughts, the thought process, and the psychological area. They have not come down to the emotional body. They have not come down to the center, to the heart, where all these wounds are stored. So the way that you really heal, really, is by getting in touch with that emotional body, with your emotions. The way that you release those emotions, those traumas, that negativity that is stored in your body, in your cells, in your memory. I'm not talking about mental memory, which is, I mean, it's also there in your mental memory, but I'm talking about the body memory, the cellular memory. For us to release that cellular memory, we need to feel the emotions. We need to go through them. And that's by connecting with our bodies. So that next step, that is a crucial step, that I think is the one that is missing the most for all these people that I've met, that they, you know, a lot of them honestly really want to heal. Some of the people are not ready, and that's okay too. But a lot of people are really ready for that step. They're really ready to release all that garbage and be free. I know that. So for those that are really ready, you really need to connect with your body. Get out of your head and come down to your body and come down to your heart and feel those emotions, whichever emotions you're feeling, and go through them, observing them at the same time that you're feeling them, because it's not only about observing them and detaching from them, because, oh, I'm not this emotion, so I'm just observing them. I've seen these, especially with men, a lot with men, that they tend to observe their emotions, but they don't actually feel them. And they think that only by observing them, they are healing. And that's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. You can be conscious and aware that those emotions, it's not about you getting lost in the emotions. Because as long as you are conscious and aware and you're observing, the observer is there. You are observing. Now, it's not only about observing, that's it. You are also observing, but you are also feeling it. You're observing as you are feeling them. So you actually need to allow those emotions to go through your body. Even if you're conscious that these emotions are not mine, I know these emotions are from childhood, I know these emotions come from the past, I know these emotions come from insecurity, I know this. Even if you know that, even if you're aware of that and you're conscious of that, you need to allow them to go through your body. This is consciousness. You're conscious about it. You're not being dragged by them. Now, I'm talking about doing this in a safe space, of course. The ideal The ideal thing is that you take the time to go through these things consciously in a safe space for you. So you can go through the sadness or through the anger or through the fear or through the disgust or through all these emotions that are called negative and called, undesirable. Especially those emotions, because those emotions are the ones that are being rejected. Those emotions are the ones that have been rejected. So even now, being conscious about it, a lot of people detach from them and they just want to observe them and they don't want to feel them. But they're not wanting to feel them come from fear of getting lost in it, fear of getting, controlled by anger, what is going to happen. And that is just fear about your own emotions. That's fear about yourself. It's fear of what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, if you are doing it aware, if you're doing it conscious, if you're understanding what I'm saying, you are conscious enough of what I'm talking about. So you bring that consciousness, that awareness, that observation, as well as the feeling. You also need to allow the emotions to go through your body. I am repeating this much and this clearly because of how many people get stuck in this stage, in this one that I'm saying right now. So many people get stuck in here because we have these defense mechanism or coping mechanism so automatic to get us out of those emotions. We are so trained to just get out of that. Just do not feel it. Do not touch it. Do not even think about it. Do not just go the other direction. And now, with a clear understanding, the truth of how things really work and how healing really works, now we actually being asked to face it, to go through it, to jump into it. So pretty much jump into the cave and face the darkness. That's what we're being asked to do, to really heal. So just imagine the metaphor of that. There's a cave there. I don't want to go into that cave. That's too scary. I don't know what is in there. What am I going to feel if I get in there? And ironically is, well, in that same cave is where your light is. Your inner light. You need to go through that cave, through that darkness to get to your light. There is no way around it. There is absolutely no way around it. There is no skipping it. There is no jumping it. There is none. There is not. So the sooner you accept this and gather the strength and gather the courage to actually face that darkness, face those emotions. Now, something very important about that is you don't need to face it all at the same time. This is what your mind is telling you. Your mind is freaking out because it thinks that you have to go through all those emotions and all that darkness and all that stuff at the same time. And it's not like that. It's not like that. You take one step at a time. There's no rush. Just feel whatever it is that you need to feel in that moment and that day, and then let it go and keep going with your day. Keep coming back to the present and to your daily life. And that will make it, easier or simpler to go through these very heavy emotions. Okay.